How's it going, YouTube? So the last video I did, we was talking about like breeding ethics and just pretty much being making good breeding decisions, but also being honest with yourself and your consumers as far as the breedings that you do. Right here I have a Lake Managua Citrinellus. She's about, I'm gonna say like 10 inches. She may have some more growing to do. It's a nice solid fish. Um, she's in here by herself. Of course, the male that I have is way too small. She would probably kill him. So it'll probably be a while before she get bred, or she may never be bred to that male. I don't know. I'm thinking at least another year. As bad as I want to do that breeding with these two F1s, he's way too small to be in here with her. But with that being said, I wanted to talk about inbreeding. And we do inbreeding. Some people frown their face about inbreeding, and they'll say, "Oh, I don't inbreed," or "Inbreeding is bad." But if you think about it, the fish that they have in their tank are inbred fish. A lot of these fish, when you buy them from breeders or suppliers, they fish that was pretty much spawned together, and they grow up and they pair up, and they continue to breed. They breed another 1,000 fish who wind up being sold to people, and they'll grow up in somebody's aquarium, and they'll pair up and breed. So a lot of these fish are inbred. So for some people to say, "Man, I don't inbreed fish," blah blah blah, man, that's bogus. Because the same fish you have in your aquarium, 9 times out of 10, they inbred. Like I said, a lot of these fish, you can't even collect these fish anymore. So the fish that we have, they being brought from the original person, like this fish here, bred by Raps, and I'm quite sure it was a spawn of maybe 1,000. And when you buy them, guess what? You buying the same fish out of the same spawn, and those same fish, they pair up and they breed. Nobody's culling those inbred fish. You can't this fish right here. You can't. It's only one line of this fish. So even if I wanted to breed this fish, like her brother, even though he might be he's out of a different spawn, it's still a full brother. Full brother. I believe Raps had one pair that he just kept breeding. And even if he decided to breed another pair, like if he had a pair and that pair got old and he wanted to breed something else, it's still coming off the same two fish. So he would start out with two fish, got a pair out of that two fish, bred those two fish, got another pair. It's all the same. Just because it's out of a different spawn doesn't mean anything different. This fish is a full brother to this fish. Two different spawns. There's no way in the world that you're gonna get a gold bar Citrinellus that's not related to another gold bar Citrinellus that goes back to Rap stuff. All of these F1s come off the same fish. So somebody in California could have a gold bar, or somebody in Michigan, or somebody in Louisiana, they could have a gold bar. Guess what? It's related to this fish. Whether it's in the same spawn, or whether they have fish that they bought from Raps and spawned their fish, they're related to this fish. The fish that, if they got them off of the wild pair, then they spawned their F1, so now they have F2s, inbred F2s. There's no way around it, because we can't go back and collect these fish. I've done inbred Isletus, no problems. No genetic defects. Nothing. The same fish. They came out looking good. I did half brother sister breeding, and believe me, they all go back to the same fish. Half brother sister breeding. I did uncle aunt breeding. All inbred fish. You can check on my page and look at my leaders. You don't see any defects in them. They all look good. They all look like leaders. Sorry about the glare. This tank is right on the window. Right on that window. So the only way I could get rid of that glare is by doing videos in the evening. But anyway, YouTube, I just wanted to share that bit of information, you know, for new people who getting into the hobby and they think that, you know, inbreeding fish or inbred fish are bad. You know, do your research. Do your research. Because when you buy fish from a supplier or a breeder or whatever they want to be called, you buying, they're not selling one-inch fish. They usually try to sell you a group of them. I mean, it don't make any sense to send somebody one-inch fish. So a lot of people like to sell in groups of 10s. And what happens with those fish? They grow up and they mate. If you got 10, sometimes you could have 10 and they'll kill the other 8 just so they could pair up. But anyway, thank you YouTube for listening. Breed your fish, show your fish. Peace.